Myanmar is a difficult place for Christians. Many in Myanmar are killed for their faith. Hundreds of church buildings have been damaged or destroyed, and hundreds of women have been raped or sexually abused. Thousands of Christians have been physically or mentally abused, and Christians face considerable discrimination in employment and in education opportunities, particularly affecting their children. So, individually or in families, tens of thousands of Christians have been forced to leave the country. Why? It's a very complicated situation. Myanmar is in a mess. It's in a state of civil war, but it's not like the English Civil War of Cavaliers against Roundheads, nor like the American Civil War, which also had two clear opponents. It's more like civil wars in the plural. The army rules the country, and the army is fighting separate wars against ethnic groups, different ethnic groups. For the country consists of different ethnic groups. The biggest group is the Bamar, about 2/3 of the population. But there are quite a few other ethnic groups, including the Shan, the Karen and the Rohingya. Relations between the minorities and the Bamar majority are not good, to put it mildly. Myanmar also consists of different religious groups. 3/4 of the people are Buddhists, 10 times as many as there are Christians. But there's also a significant minority of Muslims. Ethnicity and religion are closely related. The Rohingya are essentially Muslims. We're well aware of that. Christians are very common among the Shan and the Karen peoples and in the states that they occupy, while the biggest ethnic group, the Bamar, is essentially Buddhist. Not surprisingly, the army is essentially from the majority Bamar group, and though it's a secular force, its sympathies are with the Buddhist majority. The army is a force to be reckoned with, and the army rules the country. It suppresses any opposition from ethnic minorities, and Christians get caught up in this because they are largely from ethnic minorities. But that's a gross oversimplification. There's also a lot of direct persecution from Buddhists, particularly from Buddhist monks, irrespective of ethnic allegiances. There are also Buddhist groups that are actually fighting the army. I told you it's complicated. Then there's the army's control over jade production, very, very lucrative. If a Christian settlement is in the way, it's just shoved aside. The army is also involved in the production of opium. Myanmar is second only to Afghanistan in producing opium. The country is in a complete mess. In a moment, we'll hear from just one young man who's been trying to serve other Christians, hear how he's been hounded out of the country. He introduces a new factor in the equation: digital persecution. The army is in charge of everything, directly or indirectly. They control telecommunications. That's the phone services, that's the internet and internet services like banking. And what they don't control, they spy on, often by digital means like surveillance cameras and facial recognition software. The army is tech savvy. Any army is. And it's buying a lot of its tech from China, which is a wary ally of the regime. And China won't be supplying just Myanmar. Watch out for the tools of digital persecution popping up elsewhere. A country like Britain is also likely to be supplying this sort of technology, regardless of the uses to which it's put. Look up at the surveillance cameras as you walk around and wonder. So, let's listen to Koang.
Soon after the coup started, there were many protests all over the places around Myanmar. When COVID started, the believers in those areas had a hard time, so I supported them with basic daily needs. When the military came near our village, I dared not stay at my home. They started tracking me. They blocked my mobile banking, and they flagged my NRC. I kind of lost my national identity. I was afraid that at any time they would find out where I was and arrest me, or even worse, kill me. There were many sleepless nights and my health was deteriorating day by day. I might be in the wanted list in Myanmar, so I have to hide my accurate location. In big cities, they installed many cameras, trying to adopt the smart city project with face recognition software. If I was deported to Myanmar, surely I would be accused of many crimes and sent to jail. I want to continue supporting the Christians. So, my dream is, when the coup ends, I will go back to Myanmar.
Let me leave you with some points for prayer. If you've got time right now, leave these points on your screen and pray about one or two of them. Or come back later to pray about them. Please pray.